I'd like to ask Supervisor Bob Brownell from the Polk County Board of Supervisors to join me in presenting the Immigrant Spirit Award. This award is presented to a first-generation immigrant who has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to a professional and business excellence and altruistic pursuits. The honoree's accomplishments and contributions have a broad and substantial positive impact on the immigrant and larger community. Supervisor?
We're here to honor Phrasany, and I want to read to you what the award is all about. What it is a first-generation immigrant who has demonstrated a lifelong commitment to professional and business excellence and altruistic pursuits. Nominees' accomplishments and contributions have broad and substantial positive impact on the immigrant and larger community. I can tell you that today's award winner fits those qualifications perfectly. All of us that get up here as sponsors are charged with the responsibility of saying, well, why is this important to you? Why is it important to your organization? So why is this important to the Polk County Board of Supervisors? There's a lot of things that are important, right? I mean, some things are important for a while and they sort of fade in their importance. Time has an effect on things that we find important for a while and maybe not so important later on. I'm going to tell you a story about why, and illustrate why it's important to us, why it's important to the Polk County Board of Supervisors and all of our constituents. And I tell it on behalf of Phrasany because she helps and works hard with our refugee community, which we have a large refugee community here in Metro Des Moines. I was speaking in front of a group not too long ago that you would probably think wouldn't be overly enthusiastic about immigrants. And I was talking to them about what we're doing with refugees here in Polk County and how important the work is that we're doing with our refugee population, try to assimilate them into our community, into our culture, and into our economy, into our schools and our businesses. How important we felt that was, and I could tell from their body language that they weren't buying into the program too well. And so I said, you know what, guys, you've already done this once. And they looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, many, many years ago, and many of these folks probably didn't remember this, and maybe some of them hadn't even been born yet, but many years ago, there was an ethnic group called the Thai Dam. The Thai Dam are about to be annihilated in Southeast Asia by the North Vietnamese. They're on the wrong side of the Vietnam War. They wrote to 50 United States governors, 50, letters to all 50 of them asking for their help, asking for some kind of assistance to save their lives. They got one response. One letter came back from Iowa. The governor of Iowa, Robert D. Ray, signed that letter and sent it back to him, and we took in the Thai Dam. They have been tremendous citizens, great fellow Iowans. We helped them, and they helped us with their diversity, and they have been a group that has come together with us and fulfilled our promise, the American promise, of working together to make our part of the world better. And so does our nominee today do the same thing. The reaction of that group, after I reminded them of that story, that we had one governor in the United States that responded to them. And by the way, if you ever go see the Thai Dam, you'll find that letter enshrined in a frame. They take it everywhere with them. It's pretty inspiring. It does, like I say, fulfill a promise. And that promise is carried forward by all of us and needs to be carried forward by all of us. And today's nominee fulfills that promise as well by the work she does with refugees and immigrant groups in the community. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the videographer, and we'll learn a little bit more.
There were early signs of Phrasany's determined spirit when at 12 years of age, she left her parents' home to study at a Catholic school.
I always remember the story when she was young. She told us that she ran away from home to go to a all-girls private school because she just knew as a young child how important it was to have an education.
I graduated in high school and I got my diploma. Then I go teach Catholic school for 1 year. 19 years old, I meet my husband.
In 1980, 27 days after giving birth to their 8th child, escaped from Laos with her husband Ton and their children to a refugee camp in Thailand and then the Philippines before finally migrating to Portland, Maine. 8 months later, just a few days before moving to Iowa, Iam's husband passed away suddenly and she was left a widow at the age of 36.
Here they were, they just had come to their first resettlement place and they were getting ready and packing to come to Iowa when she sent her child up to get the father, to come down, and they found out he had passed away.
Was determined to provide her children all that they needed to thrive. She took ESL classes to improve her English so that she could more easily navigate unfamiliar systems, and learn to drive so that she could take her children to and from school.
Well, I observed in her a very strong sense of her responsibility, of being the mother of this large family. And so each little thing that she did, that was Americanizing her, she pulled more strength from herself.
I woke up one day and I found Mom under the kitchen sink. She was fixing the garbage disposal. And I thought that was so empowering, because I thought that's a man's job. But then she came out underneath the sink. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? She goes, oh, the garbage disposal's stuck, so I have to fix it. I go, how do you know how to fix it? She goes, you just learn how to do it. Having lost her country, her parents, and her community when she escaped from Laos, had to create new definitions of home, family, and community.
Sister Pat, she's the one who helped me everything. Look like my sister, look like my mom, look like my family. Me and Sister Pat, we still connect to each other by our heart.
Adds a lot to St. Ambrose Church. She brings her whole culture with her. She brings a very strong Catholic faith, and I think the hardness of the journey and having to leave home, coming to America, and her great joy was that she found a Catholic church where she could be at home.
Watching Mom out and about in the community, at church or at events in the Laotian community, it amazes me to see how just genuine she is. You could tell when she talks to people, she asks how they're doing, she really cares about how they're doing. She's so just willing to help and willing to offer her assistance to anyone all the time.
She has a wonderful spirit. I often think, what kind of a mother and father did she have? Because she learned somewhere and somehow to be all things for all people.
While she'd not set out to break gender barriers, she proved herself so indispensable to the Hmong and Lao communities that she was invited to serve on the board of the Hmong Lao Community Foundation.
She does have the ability to lead as a woman in the man's realm. And that comes because she's so single-minded, and she deserves the respect of all the men.
Hmong and Lao is two different languages, but she can adjust Hmong and Lao together. She can work with both groups and adjust herself to this culture and back into Lao.
I'm not afraid to help everybody because we lost our country, we lost our parents, we lost our hometown. Then we come here. Why we have to back to them? Why don't we face to each other to help them to be success, to be home, to be friend, and walk together?
For her courage, grace, and resolve in the face of immense struggle and tragic loss that has built a lasting legacy of sacrifice, strength, and service within her family and in the immigrant community, Phrasany is the recipient of the 2017 Immigrant Spirit Award.
Thank you very much for everyone for this special award. Thank you to IES for this honor. Thank you to my family, my friends, Sister Pat, the Hmong Lao Catholic community, and thank you especially to God. Without Him, there would be no easy way to live my life. To my family and friends, your encouragement is like thought and prayers that make me want to be a better person. In life, what I learned is that The Spirit in us keeps going as long as we allow the Spirit of others to shine through our daily life. So, without all of you, would not be possible. As a woman, I tell all of you to speak your mind and don't let your voice be unheard. Without your input, the world would not be a better place. As a widow, I would like to say, never give up. Give yourself that chance to enjoy what you started for yourself. Strength is what we all have. And you need it when times get bad. Life will not be complete without the strength to keep fulfilling your life after a change. As an immigrant coming from Laos, change is a group effort. Always remember what your native countries teach you. But you must be open to change, because change leads to opportunity to help others. Get yourself involved and make that difference. Newer and brighter ideas will not be possible without the struggles we face to be able to accept change. With this Spirit Award, I hope that my contribution in life inspire all of you to do what you can, to put struggle second, and to do better for yourself first. Thank you again for this great honor. But most importantly, thank you to the Spirit that we have inside of us. May God bless all of you, and thank you very much. Thank you.